All right, we're on. I see
Oh,
it.
yummy. Cool.
Welcome. Welcome to
Hey, guys.
Whatever Comes to Minds. I'm K Silly Double D.
I'm Black and Rowdy.
And I'm Ken.
Our Ken's always here with us today.
That works.
I can't. So
I know.
we live in. First of all, how y'all doing? How are y'all doing? How are you guys handling today? The heat, whatever is going on. What's up with what's going on with my people? What's up?
I don't really consider it hot. Coming from Texas is just unbelievably hot.
Yeah.
So it's warm, it's hot, but it's not like hot where you don't even want to be outside.
It was actually comfortable today here. It wasn't incredibly hot. It was in the upper 80s, I think.
Oh no, that's
It
fine.
wasn't too bad. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
But we're waiting on storms too. So if I get knocked off the air, that's why.
Oh, I see.
That's
Yeah.
why. Ha!
Yeah. But we're waiting on some storms to head in. There were some storms headed south from Dallas.
There are going to be some storms in New York because, oh my God, my phone just got blown over by the winds from my fan. You see that?
No. What?
Nobody saw that one though.
Let's just get right into it because this is definitely a topic that has been burning a hole in people's pants. We have, this. Let's just start with the Central Park Drama Club. That
Yeah, that's what I guess a good name for it.
drama. I mean, the Academy Award goes to that bitch.
Yeah.
I have because
Oh,
there's
I
been
have,
other shows and there's been other people, but it raises the question, and anyone can fight me on this. Is what the fuck is her name? Cooper, I think her last name is.
Amy Cooper.
Amy
Yeah.
Cooper.
What was interesting is that they both are last name
Caricature
Coopers.
of what white privileged people do. She's a caricature.
I get it.
Yeah.
But since there's been prior videos to this, was it her? Because I can't wrap my mind around how anyone could be that dumb. You're on video. I'm recording you.
Yeah.
Really think that he wasn't gonna go and post that somewhere? Did she really need to get that out of control? Example of how out of control she was strangling that dog.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
Nobody said that in the articles.
Nobody said anything about that.
Yeah.
Anything about that. I was
was
like,
horrible.
You talk like this?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Even for that poor dog who was basically like, I can't breathe. I
Yeah.
can't.
Well, and what's interesting though, she did surrender the dog to ASPCA or one of those some organization.
Backlash. I'm pretty sure she did.
Right, but she did surrender the dog, so that was a good thing. The dog's out of her hands. But here's my big
You
problem
should
with it.
adopt that dog, Kim. Go
I
ahead, Kim.
can't
Sorry.
do dogs right now. If I'm going on vacation, then yeah.
You are not going anywhere. You need to stay your ass in New York City.
Now finish your thought, Ken.
But no, what I was saying, here's my big problem with it. I'm really pleased with one side of it, but then I have an issue. So I was really pleased that he kept the camera going.
Yeah.
And I was really happy that he had the wherewithal to actually, he was composed. He was perfectly composed. He was not, I couldn't even tell that he was really excited per se, you know, like out of control excited. So he had the wherewithal to keep the camera rolling. She was the one that kept throwing the threat. She was threatening him. Now, what I think needs to happen, so she got fired from her job. Wonderful. She probably made 6 figures, 7 maybe in her position.
What did she do? What was her job?
She wasn't she PR or something, Kim? She was with some large firm.
Really, yeah. To me, it's like, doesn't matter how much money she made. Like,
well, no. What I'm saying is, what my point being is that she's still going to be comfortable. She's not going to hurt. But what I think they need to do is she should be charged, 1, with animal cruelty, but 2, with falsification of police report.
Well, she didn't make a report. She made a phone call.
Right, but that is a report. A phone call is a report. She called 911 it's not like she called non-emergency and said, hey, I'm kind of uncomfortable, this, that, and the other. She full on called 911, made a false statement.
Yeah.
Then she dramatized her report and dramatized her voice to make it sound like, I mean, this guy on camera is, I'm bad with distance, but, 10, 15 feet away from her. He's
She's the one
definitely
that-
social distance.
Right.
Right. She kept coming toward him.
And then she
but
took her mask off. She would have been good if she just kept the mask on, because then nobody would have known who she was.
Exactly.
Except
But
for
she
the
took it off.
dog.
Yeah. But I mean, she
what
needs to be
happened before
prosecuted.
that? What happened before that?
But what happened was she was with her dog without a leash.
Right.
The guy went up to her. I guess something happened. I don't know what made him go to her and say, "Hey, you need a leash."
He was birding.
He was what?
He was in that area of Central Park where they bird watch. There's an area, and she called it the Rambles or something, but there's an area of Central Park where it's protected and animals have to be on leashes because they were scaring all the birds away. And it's a gathering place for birds.
To her, and she probably snapped back, and that's how it escalated.
Right.
Well, it escalated because her privilege thought she could come in and do whatever she pleased. See what happens when you're like privileged and you think you can just.
Well, that's not just for privileged people. There's a lot of people
do that.
But there's a lot of people who think that they could do that. There's all classes of people.
True.
She got fired, so
all races. Right. But they come in all races. I mean, there are Black women who would have done this. It's
absolutely.
I don't think it boils down to a race issue. I think it boils down to
a people
the gender.
issue.
It's a people issue, definitely. And I think she, as whatever you want to say, as a white woman, was afraid. Her stereotype of a Black man, she was terrified.
It's going.
I'm not excusing it.
If you call the police on a Black guy, it is now a race issue.
Yes, she made it a race issue 100% by saying.
Right, exactly.
He was white, he was Black. She should have kept her mouth shut. Now it's a race issue when you're calling the police and saying there's a Black man threatening me. Now it's a race issue.
Right.
It's a race issue.
Well, the dispatcher is going to ask, what does the person look like? So you kind of have to say, but I don't think that the dispatcher ever.
By saying, my life is threatened.
My life is being threatened.
That was the issue. I didn't like that either. Yeah. That was flat wrong, because he was definitely not threatening her.
He was definitely not threatening her.
He was away from her. So, but I don't know that it would have been any different if it was a white man. So I don't want to say that it was totally driven by race. I just think she's a bitch. But I think she's a bitch that needs to be corrected.
If I don't know if anyone would actually be that stupid, because I know if I'm flipping out and someone was at their phone, I'm walking away, because I'm not going to get myself on camera and end up on somebody's YouTube channel or something like this.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, did she just resort to what she saw before in previous ways of acting? Is this girl really a racist? Or is she just behaving in a manner where she knew that she would get him so upset that he would stop and leave her alone?
That's it.
But you actually, is there any proof that she actually called 911?
I don't know that they released a phone call.
I don't know if they released the phone
I know that I think that they said that they were investigating it. And I appreciate the fact.
That's an interesting take, because she could have artificialized that call completely.
I've done
You're
it
right
times.
about that. I didn't think about
I'm
that.
on a school bus
That's a
or
good
something
point.
like that, and somebody's harassing me. I'll pick up that radio and I'll pretend to speak into the radio so that they stop, that they don't cut me off, and they don't do anything. So it makes it look like I'm reporting them. But that's what I want to know. Did she actually call the police, or did she just say that she was doing that? I mean, because if she just said that she was doing it, then that's one thing. And also, regarding the case, of the young Black man that was killed, because he wrote
in Minneapolis,
because he wrote a forged check.
It's like.
that was murder.
It literally doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's another way. I feel like I want to know if the actual 911 call was made, and I want to know what's up with the total bystander effect, where we stand there and we film things as opposed to just,
Happened in Georgia.
right, just
Yeah.
how do you stand there? Because eventually that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I personally would never, ever be able to stand there and watch someone die in front of my face.
Right.
I've got 2
What do you
fists.
expect them to do? There's a cop with his knee on the guy's neck.
I would have punched him in his
Obviously
fucking
unstable.
face to get
Like,
him
he's
off.
unstable. For him to just sit there with his knee like that, just chilling, and the guy is literally struggling, he's unstable. He needs to go to prison because he has no empathy, and that's called serial killer.
Yeah.
But
Antisocial personality, yes,
You should
exactly.
not be a police officer.
But I
No.
wouldn't be able to stand there and do that. I'm sorry, I would have thrown something at him or I would have punched him in the face. Go ahead and fucking put me in jail. I don't give a fuck. There's
Yeah.
no way that I'm going to, and my charges would have been a lot, you know, worse. And I would hope that people would stand up for me or for somebody who does say, you know what, this isn't happening. Because maybe that's all it would have taken, you know, to blow the horn when you saw 2 men jumping out of their truck with a gun. That you had plenty of time to blow the horn and yell out the window. If you weren't involved, I'm calling the cops. You better stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've intervened 2 times when I probably shouldn't have. One time when I saw a woman getting, you know, almost about to get raped behind my job, and I worked at McDonald's. I said something and I called the police. They both ran off. Okay, and there was another time that I don't want to talk about. But I've intervened a couple of times in things that I've seen that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, me too.
Regarding that, if all these people are around watching this and they're yelling, "Oh, you're yelling! What are you doing? Yelling is not stopping.
No.
It's not stopping them." I'm
Right.
sorry, I couldn't stand there and watch that. What does that do for
And
anybody?
even if somebody had jumped in, and even if somebody had jumped in, and let's just say hypothetically that somebody ran for him and knocked him off of the guy, yes, the cops would have jumped on that person, but they would have been off that one person.
And
and then you would have had 2 people to deal with. The cops would have had to deal with 2 of you.
Right,
Eventually, it would work itself out, but there's still an issue.
Yep.
I think we live in a very voyeuristic society.
Yeah.
And people
you know
like
what?
to watch, and they want their
It's gonna
15
end
minutes of
eventually.
fame. Yeah.
But it didn't deter him from getting his
Eventually,
knee
people
off of
are
his
not
neck.
going to care, and they're just going to start attacking police officers because we're going to start not trusting them. It's going to start getting crazy. So
It's
they
already been.
getting rid of these cops that are no good because guess what? Your reputation's going down, and people aren't going to play no more. Right?
People are not going to deal with it.
Ridiculous.
Well, you
There's
already
been
have to be
several-
very
there's
careful.
been several attacks. I mean, there's been several
Right.
things. They've caught people on video where they don't know that they're being videoed. But I'm sorry, but even the guy's partner needs to be fired as well because you stood there and you watched it. You watched
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But
They
all
didn't do
4 of
anything.
them were fired. But all 4 of them now need to be
that?
prosecuted.
What good is
The
that?
one,
They
right?
need-
But they
both
were
of them need
fired.
to be-
Well,
you know what I'm
they're
saying?
off the force. They're off the force. But now what they've got to do, we have to let justice go through and we have to let the investigation, but they do need to be prosecuted. And it should be murder 1 and then it should be
Absolutely.
accessory.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that they do now,
I doubt it will.
We're just gonna fire you to keep people from it going anywhere. Okay, so we fired them. Oh, they're fired or done. Like same thing with the girl in Central Park. Okay, I'm horrible with names. Now I gotta do my research. I'm very horrible with names.
It doesn't matter what her name is.
It
but
doesn't matter what her name is. She got fired. Oh, we took the dog away. All right, that should just shut everybody up. No, I'm sorry, that's not good enough because there's still a problem.
It's still
Right.
a major problem.
That I'm gonna call the cops on a black person is the white person's gun in their pocket. Like one of my friends on Facebook posted today that armed white people protesting against the lockdown and against COVID and all that stuff, no harm came to them. But black people
Yeah.
and white people protesting this murder,
Mhm.
they were met with rubber guns and tear gas, and they were not armed.
Mhm.
They were doing a peaceful protest.
Wow.
There is
What does that
difference.
say?
Right, what does
That's
that
interesting.
What does that say? There's a
We could-
quote from, I forgot who was it from, about peaceful protests. Like, there's a point where we're done with the peace. Now it's just going to be crazy, you know? Like, there's too many times where we've done peaceful protests, and that goes for all races that have had to deal with issues, right? Like, you know, different people, Muslims or whatever the case. different minorities, people of color that have had to fight, and we're all doing like peaceful protesting to hopefully get the point across. But obviously the point's not getting across, right? Because we still have stupid people calling the police because they don't get their way, right? Because that's what it's all about. She didn't get her way, so she's gonna call the police.
And I think it's more an entitlement issue than anything. I really think people feel entitled. I think people think that I can do what I want to do. And let's just take the race component out of it. Let's just pretend that they're gray. Let's just whatever. But regardless of the race, regardless of the gender.
My job watching, they probably think I'm going off about the bus company. I'm not. Go to
bed. But if you take the race out of it, it's still an issue of entitlement. It's an issue of I want what I want when I want. I want to do what I want to do. Yeah. It's just like when I've gone strolling through Central Park, you see all kinds of people doing all kinds of things and enjoying themselves. And I've never seen this type of situation in Central Park. And I've been there, only 2 or 3 times now. But I was always, when I first started going to New York, I was always, ooh, Central Park, ooh, Central Park, ooh, Central, and wanted to see what went on and what happened. And I didn't even realize how huge it was. But it honestly just is something I think people just feel so entitled. And then you add to it, there's too many outliers in this and too many intervening variables. You add to it the COVID situation.
Yeah, people are stressed the fuck out.
Right. We've all been cooped up. We've all been stuck inside. Okay.
A lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
People are lashing out. I find myself getting like a little bit on edge when I have to go into a store, or even today, like when I get blood drawn today, like they ask me like 50,000 million questions.
Right.
And I'm just like, what is this doing? Like, oh, this exit only opens up at this time. So you can't walk out this exit until 9:30. So if you want to wait 5 minutes, then you could. And I'm like, bitch, I'll kick that door down. Like, I don't care. Like, why should I have to wait 5 minutes to get out of the door? God forbid that there was a fire or an emergency. They have to wait for the security guards to come and unlock the door. Now, how safe is that? There's no other emergency exit over there. So how would people get out if there was a problem? So there's a lot of rules that are being enforced. There's a lot of changes that are happening in our society that we now have to follow. People do not like to have to follow rules. So in a way, you could kind of see her frustration with, now this is, and I'm not defending her, but this is now another person telling me what I need to do. And it just, I would love to have seen, wouldn't have loved it because, but I would have just loved to have seen how the situation would have been different if it was a Black man who said it, if it was a white man that had said it to her, or if it was a woman that had said it to her. That's what I would have loved to have known of how that situation would have been
the same. It wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been as crazy, but she seems like the type of person that
I think it would have been exactly the same.
You can't tell me what to do. So
exactly, you can't tell me what to do. It would have been bitch this.
That tries to tell her anything, right?
But these companies that are so swift to fire people who do this, you're not changing anything. You fired the police officers. You're not fixing the problem. I feel like that when they do that, it's just okay. I feel like it's the Wizard of Oz, where where the guy is like, no way, no how, and just slams the door. Like I feel like that's just what that is. Okay, they were fired. That should be good enough. Slam the door. No, somebody died because of something, because of a forged check, a non-violent crime.
Who cares? A forged check?
Well, if it was your check they were trying to forge, you would care.
I would have been laughing if I was a police officer. Really, boo? A check? Nobody uses checks no more. Like, really? I'm just laughing with him. Like, what? You crazy? Like, I would have been laughing.
It's not even their job to even.
It's not even that big of a deal, right? Like, not enough to be putting him down and almost killing him.
Well, why wasn't the food store questioned? Was any of this even founded that he was forging a check, or did somebody just assume that a Black man wouldn't have a check?
Yeah.
Let's go back further. Let's rewind that tape.
They got to think, if you have empathy, which he did not, he has to think, why did he do it? He probably did it because he didn't have a job. right? So thinking with empathy, you would think, you know what, this guy really is struggling. Like, let's just have a chat with him. Like, what happened? Da, 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 da. This is when someone cares about somebody. But when somebody treats you like that, like not even worse than a dog, worse
Find
than
out what happened.
that's insane to me.
But we also, in addition to our entitled society, we live in a society where people are presumed guilty anymore. We are.
Everyone's guilty. Everyone, you're shit.
Right.
Everyone's guilty.
Supposedly, we're innocent until we're proven guilty. But
No.
let me tell you, we're not.
No.
And I can tell you from my own personal experience, I'm fighting a DUI charge. Everything in the process assumes that you're an alcoholic.
Yep.
They assume a disease process.
Mhm.
They don't assume anything else.
Mhm.
So, like my attorney was telling me, oh, well, you know, if you go to AA and you get help, I'm going, but it's not an issue of needing help. It's an issue of I didn't realize how quickly the alcohol would affect me post-surgery. This happened right after I had surgery.
That's your argument right there. That's your argument right there.
Mhm.
That's your argument right there.
But I don't want to pull too much off of this topic. But my point being, everything about it is designed right down to the interlock device. You got to do this twice a day, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. You can't do this, and you can't. Everything assumes you're guilty. Everything assumes a disease process. Everything assumes there's a problem.
Yeah.
And we live in that society now, black, white, green, purple, gray, whatever, you're guilty. If you got arrested for this, you're guilty. I lost business because it shows up on my criminal record that I've been arrested.
Yeah.
I've yet to go to trial. A year later, I've yet to go to trial.
Right,
and
but you're still guilty.
Company that won't let me do work.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, like, if you were any other race, I don't mean to keep bringing race in the situation, but if there was any other race, like, I don't think they would treat you. I think they would treat, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would be a whole different story.
I don't know. I feel like I'm being bundled in. I think we're all, at least the ones that I've seen and spoken to when I've gone to do my little whatevers, it's about the same.
I'm gonna go there.
You're gonna go where?
I'm gonna go there.
Let's
go there right now.
Okay.
Who is the last part of society where it is perfectly acceptable to be prejudiced against them? Go ahead, Ken. Please tell me who. Which doesn't matter, black, white, doesn't matter, Asian, Hispanic. Who's discriminated against?
Repeat your question.
Who in our society is the last form of, hatred and, discrimination against? Yeah, kind of the last form. Who is it? Go ahead, tell me. Don't tell me that we're not treated differently when we get charged with crimes, and we're not handled differently, and we're not treated differently because we're overweight. It's completely and totally different. That is
very true.
Totally different. I'm studying right now. True. I took another certification course, okay?
Oh.
To do for weight loss specialty, okay?
Oh, cool.
I'm reading in the book about eating disorders. They have a whole paragraph this long about how to treat anorexia and bulimia, and they have a paragraph this long about how to treat binge eating, and I'm supposed to be learning about weight loss counseling, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't recognize that as they got A, B, C, D, E, F, G ways to fix anorexia and bulimia, but they don't know shit about fixing binge eating disorder, even though it's technically the same thing.
Yeah.
So in our society, when a fat person, is charged with anything, we are automatically guilty and judged and slaughtered in the media, and it is perfectly acceptable, okay? But our skinnier counterparts are not. Could you imagine what would have happened if Miss Thing over there in Central Park had been fat? Oh, forget it. Oh, forget it.
What do you think would have happened?
She'd probably be dead by now.
She'd be dead? I'm confused.
Seriously, I'm serious. It would have been 10 times worse for her if she was fat. 10 times worse for her if she was fat. Oh, forget it.
Oh, as far as the backlash from people.
Oh, yes, the backlash from people.
That's an interesting thought. Okay, no. That's an interesting thought.
Interesting thought to someone who's, okay, and wherever, it's the same as the black people, the brown people, whoever say, you don't know what it's like to be discriminated against.
Yeah,
yes,
we do.
We do, because it happens every single day of every second of my life.
And I'm not going to even try to equate our struggle with the
No, definitely
race
not.
struggle of
but
the past.
We can get it.
Well, the race struggle of the past, because they're totally different. But okay. No, that's just, I can't say that. Kim will
It's
shoot
whatever
daggers
comes to
through the
mind.
computer monitor. Well, no, I'm just saying.
No, I mean, if it's gonna no, I mean, because I don't know. I think
No, it's not that bad.
race
But
okay, the race. The issue in
Rosa
the
Parks
past,
never
I
had to
agree
buy.
with you, but there's still issues now. It has not.
I agree, but Rosa Parks never had to buy 2 seats on the bus.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, she never had to buy 2 seats on the bus. All right. Medea had to buy 2 seats on the bus, okay?
Yes, sir.
But,
Yes. Yeah, right.
Saying.
I couldn't go to the movies because I couldn't. And they'll say, well, you know what?
Exactly.
You shouldn't be so fat. Well, guess what? You know what? Maybe you shouldn't be so white, or maybe you shouldn't be so black. It does not make any sense. It doesn't.
And maybe you shouldn't be so anorexic and put those damn seats so close together. And then on an airplane, good God Almighty.
You do not make this world size accessible for all of us. And it is definitely a form of discrimination when you have to pay for 2 seats because the seats are made this tiny, and even a regular size
what
person.
is interesting though, and what I did find, because I thought, oh God, I'm never going to fly again because I thought I was going to have to pay for 2 seats. What I found, especially when I traveled with Ariana, is that they would put us at the window in the aisle and they would save the middle seat for us.
I appreciate that because I rode to Punta Cana with my sister's elbow on my fat roll. Okay?
Oh God!
And I felt so. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Just go ahead. Just put your elbow on my fat roll.
Have you ever tried? And girl, Rosa Parks wasn't 400 pounds trying to use a bathroom lavatory on a damn airline.
No, I didn't even bother. I said, you know what? I don't even care. I'm just gonna hold it till I get to New York. I don't even care.
I'll wear a diaper.
Right, I don't care.
Yeah.
There are definitely things
it's very different
that we learn to conform, and I'm not making light of the racial situation. I'm just saying that this is something that most people don't really.
But it's hilarious comparison. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not equal, but it's hilarious if you think about it.
When I walk into a store, I want to get a dozen donuts to bring to an office party. Like, I know that person's looking at me like, are those all for you? Like, I know that they are, because you know
or
they
did
are.
you buy the other dozen for yourself?
Oh, now you're talking about that Highway to Heaven episode. Do you know the episode I'm talking about, Ken?
No.
Oh, Highway to Heaven, with a girl we used to go, and she used to buy donuts. And she went in and she would get a dozen donuts. She would be like, oh, these are for my sisters. Oh, let me get this. And she would eat like the whole entire thing on the way home. And Michael Landon, the angel, like came in and like screamed at her. He's like, if you're unhappy with yourself, lose weight. And like, I remember like thinking like, oh my God, like God hates me because I'm fat.
You know what though? Let me tell you, they've tempted me now though, because Krispy Kreme has key lime donuts.
Oh no. Ugh, you can't be eating donuts.
I love key lime. I can't have donuts. Krispy Kreme donuts give me really bad headaches, I think because of the sugar.
It's the sugar,
Yeah, but I love key lime. So I want to go buy one just so I can taste the key lime.
So then, okay, I don't have an alternative for key lime, but I would just scoop out the key lime and eat that and fuck the donut.
Yeah, well, I actually really only want to have a spoon of the key lime because I want to see how well it tastes. Because I love key lime pie is my favorite.
I'll never forget the time we went into Krispy Kreme, and it was open in Levittown years and years and years ago, and I was high as fuck. When you're high, you eat whatever you want. And I got all these donuts, and I remember the girl like looking at me, and she was just like, do you have any idea how many calories are in these donuts? And I'm like, yeah, bitch, like, give me the bag. Like, I don't care. So, you know what I mean? There's always going to be.
Like,
but
I didn't ask for your opinion.
Yep.
Exactly. There's forms of prejudice out there in all different.
Key lime pie, Miami.
Florida. Yeah. That was
Key Largo.
Delicious.
If we ever get to go, I would love to go to Florida. I was watching the Jeffrey Epstein documentary, and they were taking some shots of Florida, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I would love to go.
If we go again though, we're gonna stay on South Beach itself, because oh my God.
Yeah, because it wasn't as popping as I had hoped.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-mm.
definitely not going to be popping now. I wish it was. I need a
No.
drink and a dance floor like now. I need a
Mm-mm.
drink and a dance floor now. Like I'm
Speaking
starting
of
to get.
that, this is what's interesting here in Texas is that bars are reopening. So bars and clubs are reopening. You cannot walk up to the bar and get a drink. It's all seated service. Their dancing is discouraged. You know, it's turning
Texas?
into like an ultra. Yeah, it's turning into an ultra
Well,
lounge
people don't really
situation.
dance that much anyway in the clubs. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't really see a lot of people dancing.
yeah, but some of the country bars, there's a lot of two-stepping going on.
Okay, I've never been.
Yeah.
I believe you.
What is this going to go on for? You know, like I really,
Mhm.
I'm turning 40 in a couple of months. I wanted to be on an island somewhere, you know, celebrating my 40th birthday. I did, you know, I very rarely celebrate my birthday as it is. And I just can't, I don't
Well,
know.
let's go. But then we're subject to a 2-week quarantine when we get back.
Right, and I'll be fired. If I have the job, I don't even know. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with anything? But
Seriously.
you know, even if I were to go away somewhere, what am I doing? Like, there's nothing around. I'm not going to be able to do anything. It's going to be just me by myself.
Well, see, I'm trying to figure out because Disney's reopening, Six Flags is going to reopen.
Yeah,
I am not going to Six Flags with a mask on my face in 100-degree weather.
And not even Disney either.
Sorry.
I would go. Let everybody else go first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but the market sick first.
So, like the water parks are opening, and they're like, "You got to wear a mask." I'm like, "How awkward is that?"
How are you gonna wear a mask in water?
Yeah.
It's hot as hell. I'm not.
Well, and they're saying you don't have to wear it in the water. At least for the Six Flags here, I was listening to their release because they're closest to me. You don't have to wear it in the water, but you got to wear it on the beach side.
Right.
But there again, it's 100 freaking degrees in the summer. I die now. I'm like, oh my God, really? And when I have to do these signings and people are going, well, we don't want to do it in our home. Okay, I respect that.
Right.
They want to do it in their garage. Could we at least do it in the backyard on a table with a fan on or something? I mean,
yeah, like I can't,
Yeah.
you know, it's or just, you know what, sit in your car with the air conditioning on and let them do like a Zoom meeting and then just slide the paperwork out the window. I would, no, hell no.
what I've been doing actually is I set my signature pages and I mark everything, and then I'll do window closing.
We definitely, it will definitely be, there will definitely be I'm talking to one of the, there will definitely be.
Yeah, I noticed her comments. Yeah, there will definitely be a second wave.
There's definitely going to be a second
How
wave.
bad is it going to be?
We hope for the best, but I'm not doing anything extra. If they're like, oh, the clubs are open, nope. The bars are open,
sorry,
nope.
I'm not going.
No.
I'll do.
Restaurants are open, nope.
I know that people have, but there are clubs and restaurants that have, like Gina comes from Gov's Comedy Club. And people ask me all the time, when are you going to go back to do shows? Do you have shows? But right now, the shows have to be online because the clubs aren't open. But to, you know, these places are going above and beyond to ensure the safety of their clientele because they want to know that, you know, you're going to be safe going into a club to enjoy a show. Everyone's going to enjoy the show. You just have to take precautions. What are they supposed to do? Just drop dead and go out of business? Like it's awful. It's like a ghost town. Like driving around the mall, the movie theater, everything is just shut down and dark and black. And you know what else I'm thinking? Have they gone in there to clean the movie theaters or the bowling alleys or anything like that since this has happened?
Supposedly they're supposed to.
Yeah, they're supposed to be doing that.
And what precautions are people's jobs taking for them to even come back into work? What are you doing to ensure the safety of your
discretion according to the state?
Right.
All states are different apparently.
Right.
Texas
Here's the guideline. Right. Here's the guideline of what it should be. And everybody should conform and follow the rules. And we both know that that's not going to happen. Because me and him both know, you know, we work for a school district. Let me tell you something. Okay, you can enforce those rules and you can say this is what you need to do. But unless the parents are supporting and saying, listen, this is what you need to do. These kids have been locked up in the house. They want to get out with their friends. They want to run around. They want to do whatever they want to do. The parents need to be taking this time now to say, listen, this is how it's going to be. And if you don't, we're going to be right back in this house again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for longer.
That's so
for
true.
longer,
It could
or
even
you
be
might
for
not be.
longer.
Yeah.
Like they don't understand. Like this is very critical, you know. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Kumo had said that
Right.
the mayor here was like, "This is not the time to slack." Like he's just like,
Mm-mm.
Right, like now's the time to get it done.
not
Don't wait
time
till
to
August
go to
28th.
a party and
Right.
this.
Right, don't worry
You
about
know,
that. Right.
like what are you doing?
I hope they
Mm-hmm.
get those blue lights on my school bus, because let me tell you something, those school buses get cleaned once a year by teenagers who have a summer job with like,
Oh yeah.
they only get cleaned when I mop my bus, and I know other bus drivers spray it down with disinfectant, and you know they do whatever. So we do that, but you know, I mean,
You
what
have
else are we
the same
supposed to
bus
do?
every time, right?
9 times out of 10, I have the same bus. Sometimes the buses have to
Right.
go for DOT, and then I'm in a different bus.
Gotcha.
And you know, so I mean, it is what it is. But okay, bus gets taken for DOT. Nobody tells me this. I have
Mm-hmm.
my disinfectant, I have my wipes, I have everything that I need on that bus. Now I'm in another bus. How am I supposed to disinfect that? Am I just supposed to walk around with disinfectant on me all the time? So there's just a little, just like little things like that need to be, and that's always been an issue. But just little things like that, like let me know it's coming, that DOT is coming, which they do because they want you to clean it, but then you'll get a notice and the next day it's gone. Sometimes. But I'm just going to, for myself, because I'm not going to leave it up to anyone else. I'm going to make sure that I have extra spray, cleaner, and stuff like that in my car. Okay, you want to put me in a different bus? I'm going to go to my car and I'm going to get my spray and I'm going to clean it before I get on the school bus.
Yeah.
And we're just
Right.
going to have to wait and see what happens. And then somebody made some very stupid comment today. Woman was dumb. She said, "Oh, I don't want my kid's bus driver wearing a mask. You shouldn't be wearing a mask while you're driving." Really?
Why?
I see people driving with masks every day. She's like, "Oh, just have the kids in and out of the bus. Just have the kids just go in and out of the bus, go out of the back of the bus."
What?
What in the world?
I said, pray for this woman. Pray
I've
for this
never
woman.
heard. Does she
Mm-mm.
realize how tall, like the back of the
How
bus
big it is?
is? Down.
No.
Down. Okay. So why this giant muffler is blowing black smoke into your child?
Yeah, exactly.
They're
Oh my
gonna climb
God.
up the back of the bus. We all breathe.
Drivers,
No.
that's another thing. The drivers are not expecting kids to be jumping out the back of the bus.
Right.
I won't go there because it's happened, but I will go.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
that's just insane.
No.
I had never heard anything in my life, and of course I said, "Listen, don't worry about what is happening with the buses. You do what you got to do. We all breathe the same air. So now my job is going to have to be watching the kids on the bus, making sure that they're social distancing, and driving. I'm supposed to be driving, making sure the kids get to school alive. And now I really have to make sure that they get home alive, don't I?
I really think that what I'm going to do, even if they reopen schools in the fall, is I'm going to homeschool Ariana. Because I'm not sure that we've got control of this. Even
I don't think so.
I can't see that far out of us getting control of this situation, especially given our current president's stance on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think until we change the White House are we going to change this situation.
Well, he doesn't have any control. I mean, he does, but I mean, it's a numbers game.
It's the message. It's the message he sends.
Yeah,
it's the message he sends by going to Arlington, laying not even now. Okay, let me change topics real quick because this really pissed me off. I thought this was so disrespectful. In years past, I seem to remember, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but don't I remember all our presidents past? They held the wreath as a soldier marched backwards and laid the wreath or stood it there. So our president didn't do that. Our current Neanderthal did not do that. So he stood there without a mask, and no one there had a mask. The soldiers did not have a mask, no one there. And I was watching a report the other day about the changing of the guards, and I was very intrigued by it because I was there. I saw it when I was there as a teenager. The guards have masks,
right?
Even though they're there by themselves, they have masks. And
So
then
then
the
why
changing
wasn't
of the
this
guards. Yeah, why wouldn't this idiot do that? So I'm really troubled, and I shouldn't say troubled because I honestly don't. I can't give him a second thought. I don't have time. But it bothers me that his message is so unclear and so
right?
dichotomic that he's like, well, I don't need a mask because I get tested every day or what every week or whatever. And I know most of us are praying that something happens and he gets it, and but it's such,
Maybe he already had it, or he
you
has it
know,
now.
I don't know, but it's such a struggle because the message is so poor. The rest of you underlings have to do this, but I don't. And
Yeah,
that's my
right.
issue with
And that
him.
fuels the whole conspiracy theory, part of it that a
Mhm.
lot of people were saying, is this real? Is this not real? Especially when you see the leader of our country. But when I look at
Mhm.
other leaders of other countries, I don't see them wearing masks either. So
I
it's
have,
not it's not just
I have
especially if
too.
they're close. I have.
I
if they're
have
close,
too.
right? Okay, but so that kind of fuels it also, where it's like, well, what makes you so above having to wear a mask over your face,
But
to
I think it
protect
has to do with them
everything?
being separated. So if they're separate from people, but I go back to the whole thing. Let me go back because one of my things um, is this whole respect issue, and I don't think he respects our country. I think he did this for fame. I think he did this as just another notch on his belt, and just because
Well,
he
yeah,
could.
most people do
So
Oh,
like that.
absolutely.
yeah, I don't think
Absolutely.
it was his. I don't
He
think it was ever his
down.
intention to be president.
He
I don't
doesn't
think he ever.
care about
No,
anybody
he
but
doesn't.
himself.
Mm-mm. He did it to give himself more people at his resorts,
Yep.
more, because, and this really bothered me, and I don't know how much truth is to this, but I saw a comment that every time he flies to his little things and goes to his resorts, the Secret Service, they have to rent the freaking golf carts.
They have to rent?
Yeah. If I own the damn place, aren't you going to just put my people in golf carts?
No, because
I'm
that's
confused.
not what he's about.
having
It's
them
all about
Right.
money.
golf cart for them, like it's not free
No.
for them.
No. He charges Secret Service for the golf carts. Now I don't know how accurate that statement is,
He
but it
probably
does.
makes people
It's
he tips
probably,
pay taxes on their tips.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Unbelievable.
I gave you a $3 tip. I'm taking my 25%,
Mhm.
putting it in my pocket. Here you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
sure,
That
sure,
blows
he donates his salary. Sure, he donates his salary. That's awesome. But how much are we taxpayers paying to his resorts when he stays there? Why is it costing us for him to go stay places he owns?
right.
That's right. Absolutely. Again,
And you know what?
people are just so caught up in, I don't even know what they're caught up in. Stupidity.
They're caught up in the coronavirus. People need to be
Like,
taking advantage of the
this is like-
situation. Clear your
Mhm.
debts, people.
Some
Clear your
people are
debt.
like,
Yeah.
I might vote for him again. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Well, he's doing some good. Is that enough? He
did a little bit of good.
He's doing a little bit of good. That's enough for you to vote for him again.
Exactly.
Your brain. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not enough. And
Mm-mm.
you're being a bad example for everyone else in the world, right? Nobody
Mhm.
respects us. They're all laughing at us.
No. Yeah.
Laughing at us.
Exactly. It's
Terrible.
sad. We are in such a sad state.
Yeah.
Well, we
horrible.
still have to live life. We are responsible for ourselves the best we can. We have to just
Agreeing.
just to do what we can do. I completely 100% support you. Not keeping your daughter home and homeschooling her because you don't know. This is not
Right.
something that we can really, even if they're saying, okay, there's going to be a vaccine. When they did the numbers today on 10 to Windows, listen to it. They said, I think maybe 1 out of 5 people would be willing to take the vaccine. That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Same thing with the flu shot. How many people? I mean, every time they offer me, oh, did you get a flu shot? No, I didn't. Do you want one? No.
Sure do. I do the flu
Mhm.
shot. I have zero problems. It's free. Why not? What's the
Yeah.
problem? It's free.
I took the flu shot.
I feel, I don't know. I get very.
I'm not going to feel comfortable with the
I get
vaccine.
weirded out by having a dead virus injected into my body. I don't know.
I'm not going to feel comfortable with this. I'm okay with flu vaccine, but with this vaccine, no, it needs to be tested. They're pushing
Yeah,
things
I
through
agree.
so fast.
Way too fast.
They're talking about our Neanderthal was talking about putting vaccines into production even before they're tested and approved. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we wasting our tax money producing something that may not work and FDA may not approve?
He needs to get out of the White House immediately.
Yeah.
Like
The FDA doesn't even approve some supplements that could have saved our lives.
Exactly.
That's just common sense. That's just literally common sense. Why would you put something in your body that hasn't even been tested?
They're doing human trials now. What human trial is that? Are they doing it on? That's what I want to know. Like what?
But they're only select thousands of people. I mean, it's not. We live in a
millions.
world
the
of
whole
millions.
world is affected.
Yeah. So this is not something. I at least from a statistical point of view, it's not going to be valid. It's not going to be reliable. The alpha on it's not going to be sufficient. I'm not going to do it.
Well, Gina just brought up another good point. So many people didn't want Clinton. How do you think Hillary Clinton would have handled the situation?
I think a woman would have done a better job. I'm biased.
Yeah, but she was too stupid. She was too stupid to know not to secure her email. Sorry, guys.
They're just more willing to think about things before they and they're able to make decisions quickly with thought behind it.
I don't think that we would have gotten the money.
That's my opinion. Sorry, it's just.
I don't think that we would have gotten money. I think a certain group of people would have gotten money, but I don't think that we would have gotten those stimulus checks. I don't think that we would have gotten. I mean, if anything was the biggest campaign, when I got the letter in the mail from President Trump that he sent me a $1,200 check to help me through this trying time, whatever like that. If that wasn't the biggest campaign message,
thank you.
Yeah.
That I
shredded it. As soon as I got it, I laughed and shredded it.
I vote for you for president, son. No.
Thank you, but no thank you. I'm still not voting for you. Like, aren't you impeached? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Huge mess.
I don't know. Unfortunately, I think you bring up a good point with the impeachment. I think it's interesting that the Democrats, Gina, did screw themselves because they wasted so much time trying to impeach on something they didn't have enough evidence of and they didn't spend enough time on. I think if they had spent more time proving their case instead of sending it to the Senate and saying, "Ooh, let's do this," then they might have gotten somewhere. But they didn't. They rushed it and pushed it through.
Right, and that's exactly what's going to happen with the COVID-19 thing. They rushed it and they pushed it through. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And then it's going to be, oh, sorry, we lost more people. I mean, I was sitting in the doctor's office today. I'm listening to people ask this social counselor, what do I do? I couldn't go to my mother's funeral. She died from COVID-19. We couldn't have a traditional way. How do I get past this? And my heart's sitting there breaking, thinking like,
there's thousands of cases like that.
Right. Like, okay, like, what are you supposed to say to that?
Felt that.
Right.
People that lost their whole family. Right. Like, it's insane.
Right.
You know, they don't realize like the impact, really. We don't really see the impact because we don't have anybody specifically that's affected. Like, maybe you do, but it's like a friend of a friend, or it's not like your mom. It's not like your dad. You know what I mean? Like, it's not close. So it's hard for you to kind of comprehend people's loss.
Because you want it. Right. No. Yeah, no, I thought. So Gina said, here's a fucked up thing. We at my house were turned down for the $1,200 check. But I have a friend who is a multimillionaire with homes in France and Manhattan. He got the $1,200 check. What the fuck?
Well,
I would call him up and like, excuse me, can I get that $1,200?
Yeah, there's something unscrupulous. There's something wrong with that. Like, it could be something with the taxes. Like, they might be like lying on their taxes.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that found out that a lot of things weren't legit.
Yeah, so, it wasn't legit, unfortunately.
Right.
It could have been. You knew that he had a house in France and Manhattan. They didn't know that.
They didn't know.
Right, exactly. But that's part of the problem. See, all of this was rushed through so quickly. They didn't check. I mean, they sent checks to dead people.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Work, they don't have an address unless it's the
Yeah.
last address, which is another.
So what is it?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
you
think
can't
about
cash
it.
that check. You
I'm
can't cash
confused
that
about that.
check.
How would that work?
Well, you can if you have the estate, but not only that, some of it's direct deposit.
Yeah, but still, how are you going to get that out of? Well, I got my bank account hacked somehow, and thank God I checked it. Someone told me check your checking account, check and just make sure. I go on my checking account, I see 4 Google service like pending, 0, and I know that right away that's somebody testing to see if my bank account is
Yeah.
legit. So somebody must have gotten a hold of my debit card for whatever thing. So I just I axed it.
Yeah, those things happen once a year, like once every 2 years for me. Like that's just how it is because our information's out in the net. Like people are gonna hack and find information that way. But anyways, we're gonna have to bring this to a close.
Yes.
It was fun talking to you.
You have to get up early tomorrow.
Always.
So.
Okay, my darlings. So we will continue to pray. Hopefully, whatever investigation they do into both these incidents does bring about some sort of difference in things instead of just the typical washover of they were fired, they're not getting their pensions, they're not getting this, they're not getting that. We need to, because I feel ultimately those types of decisions, it doesn't help racism, it fuels it. Because now it's like, ugh, look what I just lost because of this person did this to me.
Yeah,
she's not recognizing what she did.
Yeah, I understand that, but racism is a new thing. It's actually not how I see it is this. If you're racist against me, that is your problem. That is not my problem. So if she's having an issue with racism, that's something she has to deal with, right? Because nobody else is tripping. It's just you, right? Because if people are racist against me, that's on you, boo-boo. I'm tripping. I'm not tripping about nothing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I just see it that way. So anyways, we'll see you guys next time.
Next week.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye,
for watching.
guys.
Everybody.
Everybody.
All right. Shut it down.